Do you want to own Mickey Mantle's childhood home? So I read a headline a couple of days ago that Rally, this alternative asset investing company, has apparently purchased the childhood home of Yankees legend Mickey Mantle in Commerce, Oklahoma. So their intention is they want to divide it up into 47,000 shares, and they're going to sell these shares to the investors on their platform at $7 a share, symbolic of his jersey number back when he played in the 60s. So it's an example of alternative asset fractional investing. And I looked at the other offerings that the company has through their platform, and it's consistent with other investment opportunities that they offer, particularly in collectibles. So other examples include Pokemon First Edition base set sealed booster box. So there's 41,500 shares, and they were initially valued at $10 a share, but at present time they're valued at $4.40 per share. We'll talk about it. Might be a discussion for a later video on how that's fallen. But you could even buy, if you're a big Mickey Mantle fan, you could even buy a share of the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card, like the most famous sports card probably in existence. It is graded by SGC at a grade of 7, but it's currently valued at $35.55 a share for like 10,000 shares. So what's interesting is this Mickey Mantle childhood home looks like it's the first real estate offering of its kind. I guess it's kind of like a REIT, but not really, with just one property for an athlete. So for would-be investors, I think this presents an interesting opportunity. So you get a chance to have partial ownership in a historic athlete's home, and there's actually a really low barrier to entry if shares are $7 a piece. I guess they say too, investors will also have the ability to vote on proposals or decisions made with the home. I assume this is things like maybe renovating it, turning it into a museum, having certain events there, which they state could turn into dividends and generate dividends for investors. The risks here are that real estate and collectibles, and this is really kind of the merging of the two, are generally illiquid assets. And with fractional investing, you actually are kind of adding another layer, another component of illiquidity. When one is investing in these assets, they're investing in a mini company that really owns and operates the item. So in this case, it would just be a company that owned the Mickey Mantle house. And you're buying shares of that company. So it's kind of in a roundabout way, you're investing in the item. But the thing is, if you were want to sell your shares, you'd have to put an order in, and their partner dealers would have to match you with would-be buyers. So generally, if you owned the collectible, it's illiquid in the sense that you have to put effort in to actually sell the item, whether it's on eBay, whether it's through an auction, whether it's through Facebook Marketplace. You have to put the legwork in. You can't just click a button and it's sold. You have to find buyers for it. What this adds another layer is that, okay, well now you don't really own the item, so you don't have full control of the item, but you have shares of the item. But if you want to sell those shares, you have to find other people who want to buy your shares for the item that you really don't have full control over. So really, you're really dependent upon secondary market demand to buy the shares from you. And if that demand's not there, you can't really get your money back or sell the items. So having partial ownership in Mickey Mantle's house, childhood house, let's also specify that too. It's his childhood home in a small town in Oklahoma. I mean, having partial ownership is an interesting concept. I'm not 100% sold on the idea of fractional share investing. Really, from a collectible standpoint, what's the point of having a share of a cool collectible, in this case, I guess a house, if you don't actually get to hold it or see it? And I guess that's a bit different in this case because you can drive by the house. Say you want to like load up the car with your family or your friends and drive to Oklahoma and drive by the house and say, hey, I own a few shares of that house. That's Mickey Mantle's house. I own like 2% of it. I own like 0.2% of it. You know, isn't that cool? You could do that, but from an investment standpoint, there's more complexity in selling these shares and actually getting money back if it appreciates or if you actually need the money. The thing is, assets that are used in fractional investing are typically directed at an audience who can't afford that asset outright. So it really provides them an opportunity to get a piece of the pie. And if that appreciates in value, to be able to realize that appreciation. But buying into assets like this, likely they won't get you rich. When you factor in fees, you factor in the effort it takes to sell these shares. In my opinion, it makes the most sense to buy it just for the novelty of it. But if you have any other motivation, you could make money off of this. I don't know that makes a lot of sense. So I hope you enjoyed my commentary, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on buying a share of Mickey Mantle's home. Do you think it's a good idea? And are there other things I'm not considering? Thanks for tuning in.